of my daughter, who was impregnated when she was in senior 5. And she only realized when the test was done. And I was called to school. When I was called to school, I was told that your girl is pregnant, she's 7 months. Yes, but they could not establish because the girl is big, you know, her weight could not show that she's pregnant. So what I was told was that take back your daughter. I said, can you allow her to keep coming for studies? They said yes, provided you can give her transport from your home up to school, there is no problem. And indeed, I got somebody who could take her on daily basis to school. When she finished her exams, she delivered. She has finished her diploma. Wow. Next year, she's going for her degree. Yes, I talk as a parent. So if we deny this girl's chance, they are saying it is 1,000 girls reported every day. Now, how many shall we deny opportunity? As a parent, for me, I encourage these girls to continue with the education. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Yes.
This issue is very serious in my district of Taleja. For some of you have done research. And the question is very simple. Should these girls go back to school? From their own testimonies and so on, you realize that whatever they did not even know the consequences. Meaning that there's one who even told us she didn't know she was even pregnant. She only realized later. So such an innocent person should not be denied a right to go back to school. In my view, as parents, we shouldn't mistreat these children. I heard of a story where one of them had gone for antenatal, and the nurse, I think, maybe she also had her own issues and so on, ended up mistreating her. I think that was not in order. We need to assist these girls, because if we don't do that, we shall end up losing them. She will be in a situation where she feels she's alone, nobody is there for her. She loves education, but she can never go back to school. Like Michael said, the father said, you have now misused the opportunities, we can never allow you go back to school. I mean, that is really very unfair. We need, as parents, we need as a community to sensitize our children, to counsel them in a situation where they get themselves in such circumstances innocently. Imagine at the age of 16, by the way, I'm very worried because my daughter now is 16 years. And when I heard everyone talking about 16, I was reflecting. Okay? So it's something that we shouldn't just take for granted. And we think as legislators, we must do something about this. Children must go back to school. There is a situation where the girl is going to do an exam and she's pregnant. For me, my view is that as long as she has the energy, as long as she can sit for her papers, I don't see any reason why a school should deny such a girl an opportunity to do her exam. So my view is, in whichever situation, we as parents, we as legislators, as leaders, ensure that our children go back to school. If she's pregnant and she can study, I don't see any problem with it. If she has given birth and she's interested in fact, there's nothing like she's interested, they must go back to school. Because at the age of 16, she cannot consent, it is me to determine that she must be in school. But from their stories, there's something that I've noted. None of them tells us where the fathers are to these children. Okay? But many times you find that they are also teenagers. They're also teenagers, and therefore they cannot in any way help them. But as parents, as leaders in this country, colleagues, these are children that have made mistakes innocently. I don't think they even knew what they were going to do. Someone was even asking whether I'm pregnant or not. So we must have a policy in place ensuring that our children, in whatever situation, go back and study. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Yeah, I'm so grateful.
Dear NRM fraternity, I'm Dr. Rosemary Nansu Gaseninde, the National Mobilizer for NRM. I extend sincere appreciation to you all on behalf of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the party presidential candidate, the NRM Secretariat, and on my own behalf for the love and support you exhibited when you turned up in big numbers at Kololo after the nomination of our beloved party candidate. Thank you so much indeed. I once again invite you to attend our maiden rally on 30th September in Ruwero. Remember to vote for President Museveni to protect our gains. Long live President Museveni, long live NRM. God bless Uganda, God bless NRM. Dr. Rosemary Nansu Gaseninde, the National Mobilizer for the NRM party.
The woman MP of Terego forever. There's a time when somebody should replace me. The person who should replace me is you, who has come and seen the good of Parliament. And how are you going to become a member of Parliament? By dropping out in Senior 2 and then go for skills training and then you'll be there? You really need to fight to achieve your dreams. The issue of saying it is NGOs to do this work in Terego, I used to have a lot of NGOs because of refugees, but we are aware that the crack on Trump has caused us a lot of dilemma. Now to say, what have you NGOs done to these pregnant girls or teenage pregnant girls or the boys, the teenage boys who make girls pregnant? To me, it is my responsibility. Whether I'm for a funeral, I speak to parents. I ask them to help me because the First Lady made a pronouncement that the children should go back to school, the teenage mothers. And this is what made me become a champion of Ministry of Health. Because they did recordings when we went with some members of Parliament to Terego. It is everybody's responsibility, me and you, even you who has been a victim. Speak to your colleagues, say it is not easy. If you cannot do without sex, use a condom. It is better. Because if you don't know whether you are going to get pregnant, because if it finds you when you have not started your period. And on the police amendment, I support. But some areas of the amendment, the fact that you have given us a former paper and the current amendment, the amended version you have not given us, I don't know which areas you wanted us to amend. I am very, very sorry. I have surgical camp ending in Terego, and I will be leaving. But I promise I've given you my email address. I'll be grateful to give you my input through my email. Thank you for this very crucial meeting. It's more than important.
To be guided, because one of the colleagues made a statement that when you look at this policy brief, is it worth discussing it now? At what level of implementation are we? Because I have an issue in relation to the question that you have asked. When you look at the second page, paragraph 3 is saying a key restrictive factor to achieving universal access to education in Uganda is the expulsion of learners due to pregnancy. So I first of all wanted to find out from the partners, like ISA worked in my district in Kumi for quite some time. Do we have clear statistics or reference cases to this effect? Because I want to believe that across the country, all stakeholders know that pregnant girls are not supposed to be
chased or sent away from school. We could also have this information so that we know what to follow. Because as a parliament, as a forum, we can organize and say, let us pay a visit to such an institution so that they don't continue sending away these girls from school. I am a secondary school teacher by training. And you'll realize that as they were making testimonies, it is the senior 2 class that is repeatedly said. And for us, my neighbor here is also a teacher. When we were teaching, we used to say that the senior 2 class is a problem. That when students reach senior 2, something negative begins to what? To happen. So does it mean in this case that we would actually challenge schools to see a way of giving special attention to candidates of this class? And now we're also seeing the age of 16. So I'm just trying to see how we can take a step to create a change. And then, dear friends, I also want to tell you and share with you that what is causing us a lot of problems is exposure. The exposure of our girls is also causing us problems. But the question is, should they be at school? I don't think we should debate it because there's already a policy to that. I don't think, maybe we just reflect on experiences, but the guidelines provide. But what I realize is that most of these girls, even as there is that provision that they are not supposed to be sent away from school, I don't know whether it is inferiority complex, peer influence, or whatever, that makes them feel uncomfortable when they are at school, to the extent that some of them individually opt out of school before they are chased even by the stakeholders. They don't feel comfortable, they fear, they are intimidated by the peers, the colleagues. In the end, they just withdraw. How are we going to handle the aspect of self-withdrawal from school before the authorities come in? I have a proposal that, because somewhere on the next page we are saying that under recommendations, the first one we are saying that we specify all penalties for default. Is it the same? Default of the guidelines to hold institutions of learning accountable for violation of readmission procedures. So, moderator, when these girls get pregnant, I want to challenge the partners. Do we have a mechanism where we can have them interact with us? Then we do counseling of these girls so that they take it as a normal thing. Because for me, I have also a skills training center, and some girls were getting pregnant. And you know, for us, we admit mature girls even. So even as we are telling them, now you stay at school. But of course, the challenge was that most of them end up not eating the beans. What? Now, as a school, it becomes what? A problem. And also, for easy management of a school, you cannot allow each and every girl to cook her own what? Food. You know, those are also the challenges. So a number of them that we had allowed even to be at school, they could not eat the beans, they could not eat the posho, and yet the authorities were not allowing them to cook one at a time. How do we handle such a scenario? How do we counsel these girls and let them understand that it is normal for them to be at school even when what? Pregnant. I have that question because I see it will also help me. Thank you.
The victims are there at our homes, in our community, in our families. We are sometimes also products of what you people went through. So it is not something which, in a way, are singled out. This is a disease which is now widespread, especially in African settings, and in a setting where quality life and regulations of society, people are failing to understand and to adopt to. We are going to do all it takes as legislators. However, duty and responsibilities regarding education, it is a tri-stand position. This one especially goes to the victims, our girls and boys, whom are there 16, 14, sometimes as low as 12 years old, a girl gets pregnant. And later, you find and realize that you have messed up. And then you come to a point of realizations and making an apology within yourself. Education cannot be forced in you when you reach at that level. When you become a mother, you become a father, even though your parents force you to go to the school, you may go and you not be yourself. So it brings the attention for you to understand that one, for you to learn, a teacher must be there. A parent is there to encourage you. But the whole thing is you, because it's you to have to put an effort so that you can understand, read, so that you get the knowledge which can be helpful for you when you reach 40. You are 16, but at 40, what will you be? When you become now a grandmother, what will you be? This is a kind of thing that needs a total attitude change. And then once you have changed, that is when you stay at school, you will do something better. There is no laws that stop a pregnant girl not to continue with studies. There's no rules, there's no laws. Only that it is you to make that effort. Many of our teachers, they are trying their best, but at that level where people change life, those things occurs always. We encourage you, and especially the civil society organizations who have taken deeper concern to address these matters, which is very enormous, and you may not finish it at a go. It requires also a lot of financial implications, because sensitization will not only stop at these girls and the boys that have done those, because today you'll talk to this one, tomorrow another one is coming. So this sensitization has to go across the whole sector of community. I have a school, I'm a director of the secondary school, and one other aspect that I've brought on board was to have what we call learners, teachers, and parent approach. The three should come together. Now, not to address mathematics, not to address the English speaking at school, not to address the sciences that we want them to learn, but address the complexity of life. To bring that extensions that a child is developing and changing, how can a parent be there for that child? I brought that ideas. But because of the...
Dear NRM fraternity, I'm Dr. Rosemary Nansugaseni, the National Mobilizer for NRM. I extend sincere appreciation to you all on behalf of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the party presidential candidate, the NRM Secretariat, and on my own behalf for the love and support you exhibited when you turned up in big numbers at Kololo after the nomination of our beloved party candidate. Thank you so much indeed. I once again invite you to attend our maiden rally on 30th September in Ruwero. Remember to vote for President Museveni to protect our gains. Long live President Museveni, long live NRM. God bless Uganda, God bless NRM. Dr. Rosemary Nansugaseni, the National Mobilizer for the NRM party.
Okay, let me say my view. Testing of pregnancy should be done. It should be done. Because if, for example, those are private schools, a parent will entrust you with a child. They mess up at home. You come to the school environment. The regulations are very strict. The moment a child goes back pregnant, they will start blaming the school. In my school, you come to the school 2 weeks, they test you. weeks we test you. And when you are going back, we also test you at the end of the term. So that when you come when you are pregnant, no parents should blame the school setting. Because they will use it to tarnish the name of the schools and administration. So pregnancy test has to be done. But who is supposed to be focused at? At the age of 16, girls that have entered the adolescence, they have that vigor of love and being close to boys. And who is supposed to be rebuked when you're in senior 2? Boys of senior 2 doesn't have any problem. The only boys that will disturb these girls are those at senior 4, senior 6. That is where the problem is. Or when they go back home, you have taken a lot of proteins from the beans, your body has changed, you go back home, they look at you, you look very beautiful, you're also there, you're very eager. So the target here should go to boys because they will disturb you while going to fetch some water, seriously. So my point here is the government, in government schools, this pregnancy test is not very prominent because of the finance. But in private schools, most of the private schools, they do it. Therefore, pregnancy tests should be encouraged. And this girl has to be changed. However, I am happy to be part of this debate so that we can bring and change and get a quality human resource in the country through formal education as well. God bless you.
Thank you. Allow me to also introduce myself, Beth Ethonalima, the woman in
district. Chair, this is a serious issue, and if you go to West Nile, this issue affects the whole West Nile, particularly to my district, rural district. So you'll see some children get married when they're 14 years, particularly not married, but get confused when they're around 14 years. It affects the education. And what you have seen on the ground is one sensitization. We need to do serious sensitization with the community, particularly local government, because this is a real disaster. If you go on the ground, you see very many out going school age. They're all pregnant, and also they already left the school, and it's not late. My courage as a parent and leader is let's allow our children go back to school. We need to support them and educate them. Because yes, as parents, it can annoy us. Because you send your child to go and study. And when she got pregnant, then as a parent, you become annoyed. But this time we need to say, sorry, this is urgent. So let's encourage them to go back to school and support them. Then too, the issue has also affect some villages. And if you go on the ground, you will see some parents that already abandon their children. There's no support. This means the issue of causing these early marriages will be attributed to poverty. And also, what I say, like take care of the children will be also a problem. Otherwise, to me, I will encourage our leaders and their parents to make sure that we must really take care of our children. When this incident occurred, the important thing is to sit down and counsel them and send back them to school to continue their studies. That way can reduce the high rate of early marriages and teenage pregnancy. Otherwise, I support this idea. We shall continue then to sensitize our community, then to help our children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
Dear NRM fraternity, I'm Dr. Rosemary Nansubugaseninde, the National Mobilizer for NRM. I extend sincere appreciation to you all on behalf of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the party presidential candidate, the NRM Secretariat, and on my own behalf for the love and support you exhibited when you turned up in big numbers at Kololo after the nomination of our beloved party candidate. Thank you so much indeed. I once again invite you to attend our maiden rally on 30th September in Ruwero. Remember to vote for President Museveni to protect our gains. Long live President Museveni. Long live NRM. God bless Uganda. God bless NRM. Dr. Rosemary Nansubugaseninde, the National Mobilizer for the NRM party.
Akalulu,